welcome to another episode of Anxiety in Historical Places. I do apologise because it is quite windy again, but I'm here in Sussex today, and I am here at a very old priory which dates back to the Doomsday book. Not only is it featured in the Doomsday book, or they know something was on here, like a church or another monastery, that is still used today as a church, which is pretty cool. And there's a little bit of a foundation there. I don't know what that was, to be fair. But if you come over here, follow me. This in here is kind of the ruins there. So yeah, it's quite cool. It's quite big, and it's been around since the 11th to 12th century, and it's still used today as a functioning church. And you can actually see on the kind of the outside of the church there, you can actually see where kind of it would have been attached. So that's also really cool, as you can see that. So yeah, it is a 11th to 12th century church, and it's been mentioned in the Doomsday book. But to be fair, other than that, I actually haven't found much information on this place, so it's worth doing a little digging. I went on their website, but it kind of didn't really say very much. The church though is open, so you can actually go into church, although at the moment it is only open to people who are praying there, so I actually can't get in, which is a bit of annoyance because I'd like to go in just to see if they had any more info, but never mind. So anyway, the whole point of me being here today is to talk to you about anxiety. So my tips today are on kind of I've got a theme, and it's all about today losing power with your thoughts. In terms of what I mean by that is making your thoughts less powerful. I think that's probably a better way to put it. So in terms of that, every time we have a thought, it does become really powerful. And with anxiety, these thoughts are particularly powerful because at the end of the day, they're irrational thoughts. So, but they do hold a lot of power over you, and that's kind of the issue, really, is how much power they hold. So we call it cognitive distortion when you have these really powerful irrational thoughts. And then what happens is that these thoughts become ingrained and they just go round, and you end up overthinking. So the first thing to really do is learn to question them. So today I'm going to give you 3 questions to ask yourself when you start to overthink. Now these questions can be very good because they can over time make that thought process different, in terms of you won't lose the perception, but you will lose the power behind that perception, if that makes any sense whatsoever. Hope so. So in terms of that, tip number 1 today then is question number 1, should I say, is learning to ask yourself whether this thing, whatever it is you're worrying about, will actually matter. And will it matter in, let's say, 5 years, 10 years, 20 years? Even if it does matter, sorry, there's like a motorcycle or something over there. Even if it does matter in like 5, 10, 15, whatever, however many years, chances are it will not matter the longer it goes. So you have to basically go, right, am I going to remember this in 5 years? Yeah, okay, now I might do, but then am I going to remember it in 10 years? And am I going to be worried about it in 10 years? Probably not. And then am I going to remember it in like 20 years? Again, probably not. So again, it's all kind of like learning that process and keeping on with that process. So that is basically number 1 for today. Number 2 for today is also then kind of trying to change your perception, looking at it from a totally different angle, in terms of asking, like perhaps a friend. If you can't ask a physical friend, ask yourself, and then ask yourself what would you say if a friend did come to you with this worry or this anxiety, and what would they say to you? Because chances are you will say something different to what you would say to yourself. And then also as well, after that, it's all about once you've done that, and once you've kind of analysed what that is, why is it different for you? Like, why aren't you gonna do what perhaps your friend would do? So again, it's kind of that thing as well, in terms of looking at it from a different perception, and then also looking at it from questioning yourself. Why is it different? So that is number 2. And then number 3 for today is then about trying to look at the worst case scenario. So looking at the worst case scenario, and then looking at it from the least case scenario. So chances are, when you look at something from the worst case scenario, yeah, it's going to be bad, but you don't 100% know that that's actually going to be what's bad, or like what's actually going to happen. So if you try to look at it from that worst case scenario, chances are, when it does happen, that whatever it is that you're worrying about does happen, it won't be potentially, or perhaps, as bad as that perception may seem. So again, if you look at it from the worst case scenario, and we are creatures of habit. So we are creatures not only of habit, I know I say this all the time, but we are about past experiences. So if you've had past experiences where something actually, because you haven't questioned it and it has just been bad, but you've never actually said, right, well, is this the worst case scenario? Of course it's going to be the worst case scenario to you. So it's all about learning then to question that, because then it might not seem as bad as perhaps you thought it was going to be, and then that changes your perception. So again, see where I'm coming from here. So it's all about trying to change that perception. So again, I really hope that you have enjoyed today's video. I really thank you so much for subscribing to my channel, by the way, and thank you so much for your really kind comments. And I've had some DMs of places to go, so I'm super excited to kind of go and see those places. Thank you so much for watching these videos and kind of taking part, and I really do hope they continue to help you. And yeah, I wish you, from here, from Sussex, a very windy Sussex. Jeez, I'm gonna blow away. From very windy Sussex, I really hope that you have a lovely rest of the week and a lovely weekend, and I really look forward to speaking to you soon. Alright then, take care. Bye. Mwah.